Hey guys, Mr. Movie. And so, yeah, I'm your host, Mr. Movie, and there is a bunch of stuff that has happened this week regarding movies. Just to let you guys know, I am still a little sick. I do have a cough and I sniffle every once in a while. Sometimes I just go into random coughing fits. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't really even feel it coming. It just happens. But yeah, so the first thing I found interesting this week is Universal cutting Cats from the consideration page on the awards. Universal are a bunch of wise people for cutting this movie, but they're not wise for letting this movie happen. So, I thought it was a smart thing to do. Nobody has been really liking Cats. You can check its Rotten Tomatoes score. Let's see. It is at a wonderful 18%. And let's see its crowd score. Oh, look at that. It's not really pleasing crowds either at a 54. So nobody's really liking it. And then, they're, saying the critics are wrong in their advertisements, and this dude comes out and said the critics are wrong. And you know what? I don't think they are, because people aren't really liking it either, and it only got, 6 million in the box office, which is a lot for me. If I get 6 million, I'll be really happy, but because you probably used, 20, I don't know, way more making the film, it's probably gonna be a failure. But, and they actually might re-release it. Fix the CGI? Now that's a dumb idea. Just forget about it. They're gonna use more money on it when it's not even gonna do anything. But yeah. So The Mandalorian Season 2 is coming in fall of 2020. That's great. Coming around the same time as Winter Soldier. Now that's even better. I'll just get Disney Plus again there at the end of both shows. Hopefully it's only 9 episodes or 8 episodes again. Hopefully they're both the same amount of episodes. But yeah. I can't wait to see it. I will be canceling Disney Plus since The Mandalorian is over. I won't be getting it until around the same time next year. But yeah, it seems like Falcon and Winter Soldier are around the same day. That's really cool, actually. That really works for me. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker slated to pass Last Jedi with money. Great. I knew it was going to happen, but I was actually really disappointed when it wasn't good, and I'm like, oh, well, that's not passing Endgame. So yeah, but I'm sort of sad it wasn't as good, but I'm glad it's going to beat it. But yeah, I'm sad I didn't really like it as much as I wanted to. Oh no, this is a really dumb thing that happened this week. Or it was sometime, I don't know, I just saw it happen. But the Entertainment Weekly reviewed The Witcher without even seeing it. Holy bejesus. Aren't they supposed to see a movie and then review it? I think it's really unprofessional, and they gave it a bad review too, so that's even worse. You see a movie, if you review a movie, you're supposed to see a movie. I don't just review movies and say, oh, I thought this movie gave a good performance or whatever. Just because, and when I didn't see it, I'm not gonna rate movies I don't want to see garbage or anything. I just don't do that. It's obvious they didn't really want to see it, but whoever came up with this genius idea should be fired in my mind. But yeah. But it's annoying. They don't even do their job right, so I don't rely on Entertainment Weekly, not just because of this, because I don't really care about the big magazine sources. I rely on people like Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Jahns. And some John Campea, too. And many other people. Yeah, I just watch a bunch of people on YouTube. Sometimes I read stuff like Movie Racket. That's actually a solid site. Or IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes. I pay attention to all those. But yeah. This is the dumbest thing I just found. This isn't really even a news story. This dude on Cineblend decides to say, oh, the first Avengers movie made in 2000 whatever is better than every single Star Wars movie ever made. Now, I got really ticked when I saw this. Because first of all, the first Avengers was fine. It wasn't an outstanding movie. It wasn't great. It was how all the Marvel movies are. Just fine. Because in my mind, they're all pretty much the same movie. They have some comedy, they have some pretty solid action scenes, and the CGI is starting to get pretty good. And then they all meet in the middle somewhere. Sounds like Captain Marvel. That movie's terrible. Or you get the occasional outstander of Ant-Man in my mind, and also Captain America, the First Avenger. But then for this dork just to say, oh, this movie's better than every single Star Wars movie ever made. Now, that's dumb. You could say, okay, it actually was better than the newer Star Wars movies, because those had problems of not just setting up where, well, not Rogue One. I think Rogue One's better. Solo, yeah, okay. But, and Mandalorian, oh, Mandalorian beat the stuff out of us. And then also, okay, Empire. Again, now people might get mad at me for this if anybody watches this, but I thought Empire was the worst in the original trilogy. Just putting that out there. I thought New Hope was the best, and then Return of the Jedi, and then Empire. So I did think it was better than Empire, which he was comparing it for Empire the whole time. So yeah, but New Hope beats the stuff out of it, and it really annoyed me. Like when this dude said, "Oh, they had Marvel, the Avengers had better characters." It's like, if that's the only thing you've seen, sure. But, like, if you've seen Star Wars, you know they have better characters. Because that wasn't even close to true in my mind. If that dude thinks that, well, that sucks. Sorry, that's my dog in the background. But, the original characters were like birds of a feather, and they wouldn't do anything without each other. And if you can't remember these characters from Star Wars more than you can with the Marvel characters, you've only seen Star Wars like once in your life. But, okay, I'll give you kudos, because the new ones you can only really remember a couple, like, Rey, or not Rey, I don't really care for Rey, but, Kylo Ren, he was a dude I started to care for, and keep bringing him back, just like Avengers. Oh, wait, once you look at that, I just referenced Avengers right there, because they kept bringing people back like a bunch of dorks. Anyway, then the original characters were, like, wouldn't do anything without each other, and people know all of them really well. Even the ones that were only on screen for a second. People know Boba Fett better than they know Captain America, I bet. Okay, that might be a little... That might not be true. Okay, sorry about that one. That's good. But, people might know Boba Fett more than a chunk of the Avengers team. There you go. But they go on to say how they are slow. If you think Star Wars movies are slow... Okay, Phantom Menace... That movie had problems, but I can also offend you back with the atrocious Captain Marvel movie that came out this year. Because that movie was also atrocious, and in my mind, some of the Marvel movies have too much action to contend, like The Winter Soldier. That's all it was in my mind, but it wasn't a bad film. But yeah, yeah, don't call Star Wars movies slow. I don't like when people say that. You're pretty much comparing it to 2001: A Space Odyssey if you call it slow. Not saying that movie was extremely slow, just the end was like a snooze fest. Anyway, and he says fan service is better than Marvel. I actually don't mind that. You can have your opinion about that. But, yeah, that's something that could go either way. In the post-credit scenes, he says they're better for Marvel. Yeah, it's because Star Wars doesn't do it because they're dumb. I think post-credit scenes are dumb. They're just for, well, no, okay, sorry. They're just for comic book movies. If they're in any other movie, they're dumb. That's how I should have said it. Yeah. But, if you want a cliffhanger, put it in the movie for anything that's not called a comic book movie. Which you could be like, oh, well, Star Wars movies have comics. Well, they're not made from comics, so... But yeah, so that's Movies Weekly Podcast number 15 there for you. And, say anything in the comments about questions you have about this podcast, and I'll try to answer them next week. I haven't really been getting any comments, so if you really just feel like it, drop a comment. But anyway, so, yeah, see you next time, movie fans.